Persona fans, and welcome back to Trinity Soul Tuesdays, the show where I cover an episode of Persona Trinity Soul every 2 weeks and encourage you all to watch along with me. When we last left off, Sotaro summoned his Persona to go head-to-head with the clone of Ayane, who I will henceforth refer to as Clayane. On today's episode, we see how it went. Not well, as it turns out. Am I supposed to feel sorry for this guy? Because I don't. I've been wanting to see that happen since, like, episode 5. We're also introduced to Clayane's Persona, the insanely large, imposing-looking, and possibly space station-esque Devi. Konoru finally woke up and tries to get Jun out of the pod, but Kujo shows up and congratulates her on a job well done. Wait, what? Akihiko and Ito have finally pinpointed the Mari Beto hideout, a remote underground base buried deep within the mountains. They get ready to head out, but Inui busts in and informs them...
Nakamura-san ga mieteimasu.
Who? We don't know who that is, but it's enough to make Akihiko put on his crap face. Takuro and Megami discuss how they wish they'd known more about the plan, which seems really fair considering that used to be Ito's whole deal. You'd think he'd know better. When Shin comes up and tells them all he never wanted Jun to get involved. Kinda exactly how Ryo felt about him. He knows Jun and Ryo are both with the whale right now and wonders if everything that's happened is his punishment. Every major event, from apathy syndrome to people dying or going missing or being in the wrong bodies, all of it stems back to the research his parents were a part of. Back at the Mari Beto hideout, Kujo tries to take control of Konoru and summon her darker persona, but she's slightly able to fight against it and winds up getting shot in the hand. Kujo says she performed very well for just being a sample body he cobbled together. Wait, what? Before he can explain, Saki shows up and tells Kujo that Yuki can't summon the persona, and he's all like, well, we'll just see about that. Oh, dip. Really can't, huh? Dang. I needed that. As Sotaro already filled us in on, Kujo's plan is to empty all of the Mari Beto members' personas into Clayane, but that much power would make her incredibly unstable, so he needed to also sacrifice Jun's persona with its special ability to stabilize her. He laments that all of this was a lot easier before the Mari Beto members started getting feelings and garbage, and uses Gozanze to attack Saki. Or, since Gozanze is just taking Kujo's form, it's more accurate to say... Whatever. Kujo attacks Saki, but she uses Nebuchadnezzar's lasers to cause a massive explosion. Inui was supposed to drive the kids to the Mari Beto hideout for their mission, like a soccer mom dropping their kids off at practice, but unfortunately an ample amount of dookie has hit a number of metaphorical fans with Nakamura arriving, who is Akihiko and Inui's boss, and has decided to put an end to all of this. Shin's all like, fuck it, I'll go anyway, and Takuro gives him a rousing speech about not going alone before summoning his persona. And then Megami gives a similar speech about how they should all use their personas to do what they can before summoning hers. It's a really great scene that lets Shin know he's not in this alone. So he summons his persona, quickly reminds himself that his persona has one of the most OP abilities in the entire franchise, and they all fly off into the night sky. At the station, we finally meet this Nakamura character, and you can tell he's a total skeeveball just by looking at him. He berates Akihiko for this little pet project of his, saying that his recruitment of untrained minors to fight a dangerous threat was not only irresponsible as a police officer, but as an adult with any shred of morality, which might actually be a solid point, but on the other hand, shut the fuck up, Nakamura. Nakamura basically takes Ito and Akihiko off the case and calls Inui to his side, who tells the others,
上に求められたことをするのは僕の仕事ですから。
That dick! Saki had used her persona to get her and Konoru away from the explosion and tells her to go find her friends, while she's going to head back and try and save her friends. As Konoru runs, we hear Saki explain everything to her. Konoru was created by the Mari Beto as a tool to collect information on latent persona users by conducting shadow extraction. The reason she was so addicted to it is because it's what she was literally made to do. And she's the sole reason the Mari Beto always managed to stay one step ahead of the police when it came time to finding latents, because they had a direct link to them. In fact, the only reason Saki disguised herself as Mayuri was because as Konoru grew closer to the gang, she stopped sending reports back to the Mari Beto, so Saki was sent there to keep an eye on her. As Konoru trips, she looks at the wound Kujo gave her and we see... yeah, she's a robot. Aegis from Persona 3 may have been a robot girl who was a shadow suppression weapon, but Konoru is a robot girl who is a shadow extraction weapon. Shin, Megami, and Takuro see her, and Megami stays behind with her, while Shin and Takuro fly off to explore the exploded base. As they arrive, they see Nebu Chadnazar being pulled into Devi, while Cleone has Saki pinned down. Takuro recognizes her as Mayuri right before... well, we all saw what happened with Sotaro. Konoru tells Megami everything, how she's the one who spread shadow extraction, how she's the one who led the Mari Beto to Takuro's friend and Megami's senpai, and how it was even her who killed those scumbags at the karaoke bar way back in episode 3. All along, she'd just been their puppet. As Takuro deals with conflicting feelings of rage that Mayuri was a Mari Beto traitor, but also remorse for the loss of someone he considered a friend. Kujo confronts Shin, asking him, "What did you do to Jun?" You, that's what. Abel confronts Gozanze for a head-to-head fight, while Takuro summons Spartacus and goes directly after Devi. Unfortunately, this may be more than he bargained for, since we quickly learn Devi is fully capable of summoning and using the personas that it's absorbed, summoning Sotaro and Shiba's personas to fight. But then Megami shows up and Diana shoots Devi like, pew! And when Gozanze uses those crystal spike things it used to wound Ryo, Konoru shoves Shin out of the way. Gozanze temporarily takes control of Konoru and forces her to summon Ashtoreth, who tries to T-pose all over Shin, but Abel uses his Sever Sword to permanently cut away Konoru's complex persona, getting ambushed by Gozanze in the process. But then Konoru summons her real persona and saves Shin, and seriously, how can you not ship it at this point? Like, they just saved each other back to back, that's awesome! Shin takes this moment to slice Gozanze into pieces, taking care of Kujo once and for all, and now everything is good forever! Until Cleone uses Devi to scoop up the shards of her father's persona and absorb them into herself, giving her a huge rush of power, and also causes Devi to come down with that Mad Madam Mim disease from The Sword and the Stone. The surge of energy winds up knocking pretty much everybody unconscious. Jun returns with Seth summoned and uses his power of warm glowy glow worm glows to pacify everything, especially Devi. In the Sea of Consciousness, Shin encounters both Yuki and Jun, but we find out that Jun only returned so he could say goodbye. He runs off and Shin quickly sees Ryo standing on the pier. Back at the hideout, little ghost girl Ayane stands over Cleone and closes her eyes. And that is where this episode ends. I'm just gonna say it right now, this is the best episode of the entire series. It is a fantastic blend of character moments that make me care about everybody, genuinely great story payoff, wonderful persona action all around. Seriously, this episode rocked from start to finish. And I know I encourage you all to watch along with me, but I really recommend watching this episode in its entirety. Those of you that are watching along at home, what did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all again in 2 weeks. But for now, so long. On the next episode of Trinity Soul Tuesdays. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I might cry.